What's up, people? It's your boy Humble Dad. Welcome back to another edition of Humble Dad Podcast. We got a good one today, man. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be a dope show. Why? Because I said so. We're gonna talk about child support and how this child support the child. And I'll get into more details about why I thought about this as a question. But we're gonna get the panel up and rolling and introduce them for this evening. And the question for this evening to start off is you have to wear a t-shirt with one word on it for 1 year. Which word do you choose? Which word do you choose? And we're gonna start with Mr. RJD. What it is, homie.
Yo, Positive Energy King, what's going on with you, bro?
I'm good, bro. You good, glad you're here, man. What you got on the question?
Man, I would go with the word purpose. I would go with the
Purpose.
word purpose, and reason why because Dr. Miles Monroe said if you don't know the purpose of something, you're bound to abuse it. And I've learned that I want to leave more examples than warnings to my children.
That's a bet. Thanks for sharing. All right, we're gonna welcome to the stage Miss H Town. Miss Shan, how's it going?
It's going. It's going. I
Yeah,
made it
I
here
know how to
tonight.
continue. You did, and I appreciate that. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
welcome.
Yeah. You got the question?
Yes, I do. So if I had a shirt, I would probably put peace on there.
Okay.
Yes, a constant
Wow.
reminder for me. Because the people be trying to take me out of there. So that's going to be a reminder to myself to
Okay.
always choose peace.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a you gonna choose. Ooh, these some interesting words. All right. That's a bit.
Yeah.
Welcome to the stage, Sir Charles the God.
What up, family? Good
What's
evening.
going on? Appreciate you being here. You got the question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right,
And I'll keep in line with the P words this evening.
okay.
Persevere. Uh,
Mm,
yeah, I think because we all hit difficult times in life, whether it's business or family or something personal, and folks need to remember to keep on going, man. So I think that persevere would be my word on the T-shirt for the year.
that's what's up. I didn't even recognize that transition of lettering. That's a bit. That's good stuff. Welcome to the stage, Miss Shay, aka Miss Tax Season.
Hello, hello.
What's good?
Um, I don't have a P word, so we're not pushing P anymore.
They
So
can be
my
taken so many different ways, Shay.
only on Humble Dad, you get it wrong, okay?
And there you go. Then you're gonna pause. Okay. It's on you. What's your word?
I can't even get my word out. It's favor. Like
Favor.
I feel like that's the story of my life, favor. I can't even explain some of the things, the positions I'm in, the places I'm in, or where I am even today besides favor. So I'm
It's a good
favorite.
favor. All right. Welcome to the stage. Prototype.
What's going on? I'm gonna go back with the P's. It's gonna be prototype for me.
Okay.
I will walk around with it. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Because I am an example, but yet incomplete still. So
That's
prototype
what's
it
up.
is.
That's what's up. I'm a walking example. That's a bet. Welcome to the stage, Mr. CJ.
What's going on? What's going on?
Good. You got the question.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with gang. No, I'm just playing. I ain't gonna do gang.
Gang.
The word I would go with is focus. Personal for me for sure. Because I feel like can't nobody mess with me when it come to put in his work, when it come to content creation, when it come to rapping, when it come to anything I do. But where I lack is focus. I get
Mm,
distracted by so many different things. So I gotta remind myself, this head big for a reason, man. So I gotta stay focused. You feel what I'm saying? So
that's a
that's
bet.
definitely what I would do.
That's a good one. Last but not least, my homie, my friend, accountability partner, Mr. Dwayne. What's up, homie? You only get to choose one word because I know you got a lot of them, bro. Just
Yeah,
give me
no.
one.
All I go with is hope. Because everyone needs it. A little sprinkling.
All right, Pastor.
Everyone needs it.
Hassle.
So you pushing hope. I got
Oh,
you.
absolutely. Yeah,
Okay. You're not pushing
Right,
any more
push hope.
fees. Got
no,
it.
none of that.
He's a hope dealer.
He's a hope dealer.
Oh, look at you. Okay.
My word.
Shots
That's
fired.
what, hey, it is. My word will be Jesus. You know what I'm saying? I think for me, it encompasses everything that I stand for and how I rock and try to emulate. You know, I couldn't say humble because, you know, y'all already made fun of me backstage.
That's out. That's out of here, right? You know?
Yeah.
But it's something I can pursue, especially when you're talking about focus. You know what I'm saying? So I could be able to wear it, you know? So I would say Jesus all day. Matter of fact, I had a clothing line called Jesus a while back. So that's what I rock. All right. All right. So that sets the stage, man. It's really good. So everybody has a word that everybody and everybody else can lean on. And hopefully you'll carry that word for you, at least for the rest of the week. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. First question, or statement, actually, depending on how you look at it. Define support. Define support. You know, since I'm a teacher, I got to give you some think time. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to call on you too quick. You know, the first person is not as fair to give it to them as the last person, right? All right. So give you that think time. And we're going to start with Mr. Sir Charles, the God. And then after you finish, you choose who goes next.
Well, I would say, without looking at the definition, because we could easily do that, I'm just gonna say to be a part of the foundation of, to uplift, essentially, yeah, to give someone a boost, maybe to go forward, to improve or increase.
Okay, bet. Okay, simple and direct. And who you got going next?
Oh, let's go with my man. He knew I was gonna pick him. 5100 CJ.
Get somebody else to do it. Support. That's one of the words you don't just think about like that. Just what it actually means. Humble dad for the humble words again. I would say support. The way I would define it is being whatever is needed that you're able to do that doesn't compromise yourself or make you go outside of something you're willing to do, but being willing to go to that mile that you're comfortable going. Like I support some things that I don't necessarily agree with, but there are things that I don't agree with that I just will not support. So I look at it as a sense of I have to have some kind of aligning with it, and I have to want to see it go through in a positive way. You know what I'm saying? So for me to support it, I have to back it morally. So I would say the way you support is to agree with and push forward.
That's a bet. Who you got next?
Wish I could get Sir Charles. Let me go with Mr. Prototype.
Okay. Man, support. So how I think about support is to hold up while the idea is being, moved, or if it's stuck, to, keep things afloat, right? Like if there's an idea present, it's to do whatever you need to do to keep the idea afloat. You know what I mean? Think of it as holding up a couch while somebody gets reset so you can carry it down the steps. Think of it as your friends open up a business and you make sure you put your money in it. So support to me is holding that thing up while that thing is either moving or need to get removing. It's basically just not letting it fall, not letting it drown. You know what I mean? While it's trying to learn. Man, let's go with Dwayne. Get him out the way because he's gonna be all day.
He do be listening. That boy do not. He not on Twitter, bro. He don't know. You know what I'm saying?
My bad. Oh, the characters. Oh, that's funny. Like, the one word I'd say for support, or it would be one. It would be backup. And whenever I think of about backup, like reinforcement as well. So, like from a military standpoint, whenever you call in support or backup, um, that's what you're calling it whenever you've exhausted your resource. And another thing is that associates with that, for me, is trust. You are going to reach out for support from someone you can trust that's going to back you up or then have your support. So that's I think of a bridge. You wouldn't go across a bridge that wouldn't support you. So
who you got next?
let's go with Shan.
When I thought about it, support is number one, communal, because you have to have more than one person involved in order to provide support, right? There has to be a group of people or a group of things or a group of resources. And then support is there to help you achieve a goal, right? So support is needed to reach some type of set goal, set objective, something that you are targeting, whether that's financial support, there's a target there and you're trying to meet that target, you're trying to meet that goal. If it's in Dwayne reference to military, there is still a goal or a target that is trying to be met. And so you need additional support or you need things involved to help you get that goal.
Okay, for sure. Who you got next?
Let's go with Mr. Imperfect.
All right. I'm gonna go with stress reliever. Because when I think of the word support, I think of something being able to hold it up and take the pressure off of something else. Right? When my wife needs me as support, that means with the kids, that means she needs me to take the kids away from her so she can have her moment. She needs a moment of stress to be relieved off her. She needs some support in that moment. So I look at support as being a stress reliever.
That's good. What you get? Who you got next?
Oh, the great one, Shay. Let's get it.
I agree with what everyone else said. I would say, I think of support carrying the weight and you carrying that weight for a specific amount of time, right? So it's towards a goal, like Shan mentioned, so you can reach an end goal. So it's like you carrying the weight and the other person is carrying the weight, so that y'all can meet or reach whatever it is you're needing during that period.
That's pretty good. I like that you said the main thing that y'all said, that there is a goal that's established, and then there are people that are coming alongside to help with that goal, right? So the Cowboys did not have good support. That was too soon. Okay,
too soon.
Needed them my Giants.
Right. So
Too soon.
So there's a goal in mind, and so the goal is to help the person or people or thing get to that particular goal. So that's what people have said. It's communal. It's like a boost. It's a backup, a bridge, and keep the idea afloat. So keep those things in mind as we talk about, where is support needed? Where is support needed is the next question, and it can be any dynamic. It doesn't have to be relational or anything like that. But when you think about it, where are some places that you see support is needed? Okay, and we'll start with Shay. What?
Okay, I needed my think time, but
you need your think.
No, I'm ready.
Listen.
So support, I think support is needed. I won't even say where there is a lack. I would say before there is a lack, right? Because you don't want to support something when it's depleted. And so support is needed in everything that we do, whether it's business, it's finance, it's spiritual, it's physical. I think support is always needed before there is a drought or some type of depletion.
Okay, who you got going next?
Shan.
Come on, let's get these ladies out the way.
You know, because
So
we get straight to it.
write it out right. Support is needed in an area that needs strengthening or an area where you are unfamiliar. So if I don't know nothing about taxes, so I will go to Shay for some support because I have no idea what it is that I'm doing. If I'm going to the gym, making those New Year's resolutions, you know, we still the first month in, so everybody's there. Somebody may have a trainer because they have no idea what they're doing. When I go to the gym, I put these braces on my knees because they need strengthening, God, or else I'm going to need support getting off the ground. So, those are my two areas. Where you need strengthening in a certain area and when you are unknowledgeable about something. And I'm going to shoot it off to Fire 100.
Appreciate that. Where is support needed? I think support is needed with children more than anything else. I think that's where we continue, not we collectively on the panel, but we as a country continue to drop the ball on. You hear the term Black women are the most unprotected. I think Black children are the most unprotected. And I think that that's where the support is needed, from youth camps to football camps to golf camps to drawing camps, things that give kids something to do. And I'm in Memphis. There's nothing to do but have sex and go to war. You know what I'm saying? So support is definitely needed here. So yeah, I'll go with that with the kids.
Let's go ahead and add classrooms to your list because there's a teacher shortage.
Facts. Male teachers for sure.
Yes, and you are absolutely right about that.
Male teachers should not go teach.
What?
What?
You say that, humble dad.
Yeah, you know, I was a teacher forever. You know what I'm saying?
Why you say that?
Compensation. I explain, right?
You don't have to. I'll mute my mic now.
For sure. Compensation. Think about it for a moment. Right? Most teachers in general, if the pay means if you're by yourself and you have kids, you're gonna have to get another job, right? If you're a man, a woman doesn't want to do that makes $60,000 a year, right? Even though if you work it right, it's substantial. However, you cannot support a multiple family members in a household on $60,000 to $65,000 a year, and they only give you maybe $200 to $300 extra every year, right? And then if you get additional degrees, they only pay you maybe another $1,500 a year, right? So it doesn't afford a male to be able to operate his household from a financial standpoint. That's why I would say that men don't need to be teachers. They need to be teachers, but they don't compensate you that in the way that other places do.
Now, that's not to be confused with a professor. Are you okay?
No, I'm not talking about professor.
Okay.
No. I'm talking about like a high school, middle school, or elementary. And then as far as professors, I mean, it's a totally different. It's how it is ran in college. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
I think I'm probably definitely gonna go teach when I retire.
See, when you retire though.
when I retire, not right now. Well, when I retire, my plan is to go teach and kind of like die off that way.
Yeah. But, yes. See that. See what
I wish Dusto was here.
All right, so that's just me. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Who you got, CJ?
Let me go with Sir Charles the God, man.
I knew it. I started preparing myself.
I'm glad you did.
So the question is, where is support needed? Correct. Where is support needed? Now, I'd like to coin a phrase by the great Sir Charles Sr. And he would always tell us, my dad would always tell us, no one goes through this world by themselves. And so with that understanding is that support is needed by everyone. at different times though, which is our ultimate goal should be community, which is in the way of interdependence. No matter how much money you have, you still need people at some point. No matter what your status is, you still need help at some point somewhere to do something. So I think in the way of community and family, if we want to maintain healthy relationships in that way, we need to understand that support is needed by everyone at some point. So, and that's that piece.
So to kind of ask the question on that, and anybody's free to ask a question at any point in time. So you're saying that I guess the question would be, if everybody needs support, how does that person know, or how does the person know that they need support, or how do you know that that person needs support at that particular time? Like, how should that be? How should we go up? What path should we take to give, I guess, support to the person or the person reaching out? Because most people don't like reaching out.
Yeah.
So how would you go about explaining to somebody how that will work?
Well, for me, first and foremost, I mean, the people that I love and care about, and I know it goes beyond that, but the people that I love and care about, I have a pretty good idea about what's going on in their lives, right? And when people love and care about you, sometimes they when they know what's going on, they'll offer the support without you even asking. They see you need help, let me help you, right? Now, as it pertains to like strangers and all that, like I don't really know what's going on with you, but perhaps I could see a need in the moment, and I could offer support in that way. Now, if we talking something long term, are we talking something long term or something really quick, like a donation, real quick, or we talking something like recurring? Because then that makes the difference as well. I mean, listen, when a lot of us have good hearts and we know when people are in need. And sometimes you just want to feel the need, whether you're looking for, and especially when you do it without looking for a reward. Well, hold on, let me rephrase that. Because my daughter asked me about that, about, seeking something in return for doing something for somebody. And I don't know if I'm changing the trajectory of the conversation, but I absolutely believe it is totally fine to expect something in return when you do something for someone. But here, let me explain though. You don't expect it from that person, and you shouldn't expect it in the same form. I say you expect it from the universe, because you're giving out a certain energy when you do something for certain people. I consider that sowing seeds, and they say you reap what you sow, correct? So if I'm sowing a seed, I should expect something to come from that seed, and I don't expect it necessarily coming from that person or in the same form. And so in that way, like I may be able to loan you some money or whatever, but it comes back in the way of good health or favor in a position or a job or whatever, or it may come back in the same form. But yeah, so I think I veered off a little bit, but yeah, support that. I mean, our community, our loved ones, our family, our co-workers, our friends, associates. I mean, even strangers. We know when people. We can kind of pick up when people are in need, and they may not even have to ask. We can just jump in and offer the support. So I hope I answered the question.
My uncle calls it paying it forward.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
For a fact.
Who you got going next?
Let's go with Prototype.
Okay. So to kind of like piggyback off of what you said, I don't think you should expect anything back. Reaping what you sow, I think, is one of them rules that God put into the earth when He created it, right? So if you put good things out there, you get good things in return. I think to expect it back is the wrong mental space for it, but you could kind of almost guarantee that it's going to come back some way, shape, or form. It's just where you put your mind and your heart in doing something for someone I think is because biblically it says if you do something in public, right, and you do it expecting, then you got your reward. It's not exactly like that, but to do something and to tell everybody like, hey, I gave such and such some money. You know what I mean? You telling everybody, you loan somebody some bread. then that's your reward. That, hey, you're boasting about it. There you go. That's your reward. So you do things quietly. So I don't think you should expect things to come back, but it is one of those things that come back. So I mean, you can kind of just yeah. I mean, it's just a thinking thing. You know what I mean? It's going to come back.
Yeah.
On where support should be given, man. So it's basically anywhere you see the need. Like right now, I have a strong agenda to put to get athletes in the STEM. I love I love the athletic environment. Ever since I stopped playing ball, it's like I played ball for so long because I love not the game itself, it was the environment, the locker room, the camaraderie. Like I love that part about sports. You know what I mean? The teamwork, the effort, how we pick up, how we come together and pick up each other. The thinking, like, oh, you need help, I got you. Pick and roll, you know what I mean? Or the lineman's blocking. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just the ultimate thing that and it's so unfortunate that the world doesn't work like that in the same way. Life is not like that in the career space. So like me being not only black, but also an athlete in STEM, right? Even when I do run into other black people in STEM, they're not like me. They don't have my morals. They don't have my background. They don't understand how I'm so open to help. You know what I mean? Everybody's still selfish. And I hate it. So my agenda is to get as many black athletes as I can in the STEM and to stop going to school, to kind of convince them to stop going to school for sports management and go to school. The degrees cost the same. You're getting a ride, go for something that's going to cost, you know what I mean, that you're going to benefit from. Like even my college coach told me, like, look, your degree is different. I was the only football player with a computer engineering major. Like, you know what I mean? I'm the only one in there. My study halls, they didn't have nobody for me to, like, no tutor set up for me for study hall. So my goal is to get as many black athletes into STEM as I can, and we'll make a better environment and workspace for me. You know what I'm saying? So I think we need that support. And like I said, those degrees, it costs, liberal arts degree costs the same as an engineering degree. It doesn't cost no different. So we need to get more athletes into that field. That way we're not so worried about 1% of us making it or not. You know what I mean?
So how do you see that? How are you working towards that goal?
Man, so I started a nonprofit organization called Nerd Jock. And we raised some money to do hackathons. Like when I first moved to Georgia, I started doing a bunch of hackathons, and I love them. You know what I mean? Like there's free food, and you're coding and you're learning, and it's that team environment. So here's the wild thing: we raised about $12,000, and I was going around to different high schools. I'm from Pittsburgh originally, so I was going around to different high schools in Pittsburgh trying to get members to sign up, and I couldn't get with $12,000 for the winner of the hackathon. I got nobody to sign up. And it's just, they just didn't understand. It's crazy. It's just, they didn't understand how to code or what it was or what they needed. And you know what I mean? Like I had it set up where we was going to teach them, like do 4 classes, teach them how to code, how to get set up, all that kind of different stuff. And it just, I mean, the support was there, but I guess the information to the parents, they didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was until I moved down here, until I got in an environment where, oh, they do that? Like just a hackathon, I could learn how I could get with other people and learn how to code more, better, blah, 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 blah. So I think support's needed there, like in getting black boys in the STEM. So much push is like get the girls, do the girls this, and we're forgetting about the boys. It's like what the boys supposed to do, you know what I mean? And I want to get black boys, particularly black athletes, in the STEM.
Do you have a website or something? Or somebody else has something?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, do you do anything virtually? As far as
so I'm actually partnering with another. So this was an issue I had like a couple years ago, so I kind of let that website go. But I'm actually partnering with another guy who has a nice program going. I'll get y'all that information afterwards. And he has this program up and running. The curriculum's already there, And I actually have 2 programs I'm associated. I sit on the board of another guy who played in the NFL, but now he does nothing but STEM work. And I was running summer camps with him, like doing STEM camps with him in the summer. So yeah, that's one thing. That's where a lot of support is needed, is getting black athletes in the STEM. It's cool to play basketball, but it's like if I could take my kid to play basketball and do an hour of code a week, instead of practicing, that'll be the ideal key. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I think support's needed at at this day and age.
That's what's up. Hey, put the how they can contact you in the back chat prototype.
Sure.
And I if they don't get it, I can get it to them as well. That's pretty dope. I'm sure some people on the panel can definitely help with that, supporting and figure out how to get it in schools for sure, like an after school type program. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in schools. Shay has, she talks to investors all the time, and Dwayne, you know what I'm saying? He's into technology as well. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just learning everybody else. So if y'all able to support, then there you go. All right, who you got next, homie?
Let's go with Dwayne. I don't think you went, right?
He's like, man, Dwayne gonna go, bro. Like he's gonna be
forever. Go ahead.
At ease.
I'm just
hey, y'all need help. Yeah, y'all need help.
Hey, we need support, bro.
Come on, y'all need that support. Now that's a good question. So for me it's wherever there's an opportunity, wherever you see any kind of inadequacy. People don't like to think that they're inadequate because they're lacking in something. So pride sometimes does not allow certain people to ask for help. But if you are diligent, you listen and you observe, you can see where help is needed. And for me, from a biblical standpoint, it says to bear one another's burdens, and so it fills the law of Christ. So in that is bearing one another's burdens. All of us, all have burdens. We all have certain things that bother us or frustrate us, depress us, stress us out. So I think there are opportunities in conversation, like, in conversation, you can hear certain things. People will share these things with you, and in it, you can use it as an opportunity to bear that burden. And in it, people will then, in exchange, what y'all were talking about earlier, as for reaping what you sow, it's not necessarily doing it for a reward, but it's like, there will come a time where you will have too much burden, and you're going to look around for someone to be able to help you with that burden. So as a form of paying it forward, it's like, hey, looking around, helping while you can. And even whenever, like for me, I have a thing for desiring to help elderly people. Whenever those opportunities come and arise, hey, I'll jump at it, because guess what? One day I'll be old, and I'm not looking for no payment now. It's just, I know one day I will get old, and I will, as proud as I am, as stubborn and as hard-headed as I am, I'm gonna need some help. So in that, while I can, I do.
Who you got next?
I think RJD, have you won yet?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No. And I'm sitting here loving the answers, y'all. And I was sitting here saying to myself, how do I answer this? But I'm gonna go with at the foundation, right? Support is needed at the foundation of everything. Like, I'm looking at my two kids, for example. Like, the older they get, it seems like the less support they need in a sense. But when they were first born, they needed all the support in the world, right? They needed everything. They needed me to do everything for them. They have a little dependence now, but for the most part, they still need a lot of support. And then I look at where we need support at right now, and in the field that I work at with men, is we need to help in the social and emotional learning part. That's where support is needed, because like we got so many men, and it's almost cliche now. We got men in graveyards and in prisons because we simply don't know how to deal with our emotions. So I think that's where we could use some support at in the social and emotional learning, especially for men.
That's good stuff. You said at the foundation, so that's at the beginning.
Yes, sir.
Right? Like ain't nothing like a good foundation. I mean, you don't build like it's a song where you sing when you was a kid. Don't build your house on the sandy land. Right? Don't build it near the shore. I think you might have to build it twice or something like that, but build it on build a house upon a rock, right?
Hey, and also too, like I think about like when I first rode my bike, right? The training wheels, they're there for support, right? They're there to help you. Now, if you watch how training wheels are set on the bike, they kind of offset a little bit. So once you get that little balance, that support is no longer needed. But just in case you tip too far to the side, too far to the other side, it's still there to get you back on that track. So I look at support needed, honestly, for all of us, but every day, because even my wife, she supports me. She motivates me when I don't want to be motivated. I don't feel like getting up and doing what I need to do. Those days when it's hard, that's support.
That's what's up, man. Hey, we're gonna get into this. This is good. So what I'm trying to do is build the blocks, and kind of get an understanding of what you all seen to deem as support and what it looks like and what it needs to be. So I really like the idea of support is needed in a lot of different places, right? But here's some specific places that they could be. And so I want to talk about child support, right? I would say, like growing up, my mom did have child support, but I only knew that because later in life I had to go to child support court, all right? And that was like, I think I was like 17, 18, all right? And my dad was there to say that he didn't want to pay child support anymore, right? So I've been watching a couple videos and I'm still learning how to show them, but there have been different videos that there was one that I can't find, but there was this one where the son is on the phone with his dad and the dad says, I can't see you no more because your mom just put me on child support, right? And the son is crying. He's like, I don't understand that. Like, what are you saying? And he's like, ask your mother, right? Ask your mother. I know a couple people saying, yes, you've seen it.
I've seen it.
Yep.
Right.
Definitely seen it, and I was triggered by it. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was tough to watch.
Tell me why.
I was triggered two ways.
Okay, we can go to that, and then I'll ask my other question. Why were you triggered by that?
Just because, like, I'm from a single mother home, right? And I didn't get a chance to know who my father was, but in no actuality, I knew him my whole life. He's my mom's mechanic. You know what I'm saying? So hearing that little boy plead and cry and say why, I heard myself many a nights just, where are you? Why I don't have a dad? So when I heard that, I was like, man, the little boy in me is still hearing that those tears are still real.
I was triggered by two ways. One, because sort of what RJD said, even though I had my father later on in my life when I really needed him, I think, like, not to say I didn't need him any other time, but I had just went to jail for the first time at 15, crashing out in school, getting kicked out, you know what I'm saying? He came and got me or whatever. So that's one thing. But I was triggered for what RJD said, and I was triggered because I've kind of been in that situation before. And what I noticed about that was the mother was sitting there, like, how do I say this? Like, she knew what was going on. Like, they had
nonchalantly,
right? Like it's like she was like, this conversation wasn't supposed to be heard. That's what I got from it. And then she involved her son in it. That's what I was hearing, because I can also understand where the father was coming from, though I don't agree. I don't agree with what he had to say, but I know the feeling, because when I was put on child support, I felt it as a stab in my back, because I had been doing everything I could. And when she felt that she could get more out of me, i.e. support, right? She felt she could get more out of me. She used that. And the way that makes you feel as a father, it makes you feel like a wallet. It makes you feel like you're not necessary in your kid's life. It's just, this is the one thing that matters. You paying something. And it turns your kid into a bill. Now, luckily for me, I was there for my daughter from the beginning because we were married when we had her. So I formed a relationship with her. So I just did whatever I could to be involved in her life. And me and her mother finally got to an agreement point. But when I see videos like that, I understand his frustration because it's like, damn, like are you limiting me to this? And ain't no telling what they're going through. Ain't no telling what she's telling him. Ain't no telling what their son is being told about the father. You know what I'm saying? There's always some back end shit going on with stuff like that.
Anybody hopping in?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So, I wasn't necessarily triggered from that from that clip. I just felt like the dad was a sucker. That's how I felt. Little backstory, right? So, my first two kids weren't by my wife, and I went through that situation where my first kid's mom tried to put me on child support. At that point, now I've been on a 3-day split with my kids from day one, which is a little different, right? So like I was in college and I like had my daughter with me like at college, going to football practice and like what I mean, she's at the daycare, that type of stuff. It was weird. It was cool. It kind of helped out in a way, if you know what I mean. But at the same time, when I had that conversation about the child support and she served me, I said, look, I'm not your typical guy. You're going to lose if you don't drop this. And she's like, well, I need help. I'm a single mom. I said, look, you're a mom that's single, but you're not a single parent. So here's your options. You drop it, or I'm getting full custody and I'm going to win. And that's exactly what I did. So if he really wanted to be a father to his kids, and and if it was that big of a deal, he should have got full custody and left it at that. So I look at him as being weak.
And that's exactly what I posted when I shared that post. I essentially said that this is how weak men perform. And here's the thing, and I'm not really taking a dig at anybody. Listen, I've been through the system. I've been reamed. Oh, yeah, I was reamed. It hurt. It brought tears to my eyes at times. And while their mother would involve them in our affairs, I felt like me as a protector, I ain't doing that. And when that broke my heart, that grown ass man didn't realize that what he's saying to his son will stick with him for the rest of his life. He said, I'm not going to see you no more. That boy was crying. That boy was crying in the video. And that didn't touch a father enough to shut the hell up, to change his tone. No matter how you feel, if you felt so passionate, overly passionate, hang up. I'll talk to you later. To me, he didn't have that protection mindset in his mind. And I think, and I always say, I like this phrase, untamed emotion is the enemy of performance. And my man's emotion was untamed. And he involved his child, who he's supposed to be protecting. To me, that's I can't forget that. I know that hurt. Oh, it hurts, man. When you, listen, I had one of my BMs call my other one and try to and try to gang up, say Charles make X, Y, you need to take him back. And luckily, the other one was a G about it. She's like, no, Charles is a good daddy. I won't.
Have you ever been in a situation where the mother of your child tells you you're not going to be a father to your child ever again, and I'm gonna find a better father than you ever will be?
Oh yeah, I've been there.
I said that.
Okay.
To her. I said that.
That's fine, but I'm talking about the other way. I don't move like that. I'm just talking about what happened on the other end.
No,
because
to my kid's mom.
But I'm gonna tell you
I get what you're saying. I get
Can I
the
tell you
reason
what I
I
did?
asked.
I'm gonna tell you what I did. I'm gonna tell you what I did.
I want to.
And luckily, I like to, I like to shout out my pops, man. I had the cheat code. My pop said,
I did.
My pop said, son, you got to remove the control. He said, as long as your daughter's mother realized that you're overly passionate, I mean, she has control over you. So this is what I did. And I don't know if it'll work for everybody, but it worked for me. I told my daughter's mother, that I don't mind paying the child support because you got it legally. That's not my issue. But as far as me going to court to force my goodness on you and you know, I'm not doing a court order visit or nothing like that, because I don't believe that a court should tell me that I can only see my child twice, for 4 days a month, you know, or whatever it is. You know, the 2 week, every other weekend, I don't do that. So I said, if you need the court to help you in these affairs, then y'all can raise her. I'll just make me another baby. That's exactly what I did. And I didn't see my daughter for 6 months. I promise you, it hurt me. It hurt me. I didn't see my daughter for 6 months. But I was telling, hey, I was on vacation. I was going everywhere. I got all kinds of free time. I was bragging, right? I'm like, hey, I ain't got no kids. She hated that. You know what she do? She called me back. Come get your daughter. Come get your daughter. I was having too much fun. At the end of the day, I'm not a proponent for involving the white man or third, fourth, fifth parties in family affairs. If you too immature to understand that I'm a great dad, then my mindset at that time was, you can raise her by your damn self. I'll be a check and I'll see her in 2 weeks. I mean, when she's 18. And I meant that, because fatherhood has all come with enough problems already. And then now I got a grown ass woman trying to stress me out and take my joyful fatherhood experience from me. I'm not like you. I'm not going to.
That's why that woman played. That's why that woman plays as much a part as that man did in that video.
Well,
yeah,
because here's the thing,
like,
though.
He's still. You can say he's still. I get it, but you different. Like people react to things differently. Was he overly emotional? Yes. Mm-hmm. But if you go through what you went through and what I went through, being overly emotional is bound to happen some kind of way. It's going to happen.
For sure,
going to happen. So do I think it's weak? Yes, but at the same time, this is where I disconnect with brothers a lot, because this is when you have to have some compassion for a man. You have to, because if you don't, well, we might well just say fuck it and say men mental fuck no shave November, fuck all that, because the mental health don't matter. That's what I'm saying. Because being a piece of shit, you like R. Kelly was a piece of shit, but was he not molested before it happened? Before he did to anybody else? But nobody care about the before of it. That's what I'm trying to get to.
What does it serve a man to involve a child in such a conversation?
He didn't involve her.
He did.
I mean,
he was talking directly to the son when he said,
"How did he get on the phone?
See you no more. You talk to your mama. Talk to your mama. I ain't coming.
I understand he was hurt, but he was helpless.
He was wrong. You're not gonna give me. I'm not defending his actions.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm not.
Whether
he defending his actions.
No, and that was the conversation. All I'm saying is, I don't care that he felt like that. That was a conversation that you had with the mother. Don't involve the child in that. That's all I'm saying.
How did he get on the phone, Sir Charles?
It don't matter. Once you find out that your son on the phone, you hang up or something.
Or either put your mother on the phone. Like literally,
like mom on the phone.
Yeah,
in a perfect world, that's what you. In a perfect world, that's what you do. When you're a perfectly controlled, unemotional man, that's what you do. But in reality, shit goes left.
Right.
I've been in the situations. It goes left.
Right.
The only thing I'm gonna say is like I'm with you, Sir Charles. Like, there's certain things that a child shouldn't be privy to. Like, children grow up too early because we involve them in conversations that they should not be in. That child should not know that. Period. Point blank. That child can't do nothing with the information. Like, let's talk about what that child can do with information. He can't process that. All he can do is internalize that and now put it on him for the rest of his life. Oh, my daddy don't love me. Like, that child going to walk away from that conversation, have more wounds on him than anything else.
It could be reconciled though, right? We don't know what happens after that. The dad could be like, look, I apologize. And that could be a teaching moment. That could be a real teaching moment for like, look, I was emotional. You don't do this for him. And that could really help out. Like, on the back end, he could apologize. Like, look, man, I didn't really mean that. I said it, but this is what I was feeling. This is what I was going through. And this is how I should have did it, right? And that child can now learn from that. I understand you was messed up or you felt like this or whatever. It wasn't that happened. And it could be
a mistake. You know,
it could be used. Yeah, it could be used it could be used as a teaching moment. So we can't say that child's going to be emotionally scarred and messed up. If it's left alone, yeah, maybe. But for the most part,
that's learning from a mistake. But my thing is, let's not make the mistake. Period. Because, like I said, that child can't do nothing with the conversation that man gave to that child. He can't do nothing with. He didn't tell that child nothing in that conversation that's going to benefit him. Period. Point blank. Once that man realized that conversation was going back and forth between him and that child, yo, son, listen, I'm going to talk to you when I talk to you. Right now, not right now. We're gonna talk later. Because
Bro.
for real, if you listen to that conversation verbatimly, there was nothing he said that child can take from that space on and use positively.
You know, one of my biggest regrets is calling my ex-wife a bitch in front of my daughter. Right? You know what I'm saying? Do you think I went into that like I'm gonna call her a bitch in front of my daughter? I did everything. Now this, and I was I can call it what it is. It was a weak ass move, but I was weak at the time. I hadn't seen my daughter for 365 days. Okay, so I was pissed the fuck off. And when I finally talked to her, and she put a restraining order, like it's a long story, bro. But when all of that happened, and she got on the phone and acted as if, okay, get over it. You can see your daughter now. I snapped. It's not. Is it right? No. Did I eventually apologize in front of my daughter later? Yes. But in that moment, bro, I lost it. I reconciled it later, but I lost it, bro.
I think what the difference is, though, CJ, is that you were directing that towards an adult,
right?
The father was directing that. I know what you're saying, but I'm saying as adults, we have to be aware of what we're going to say to a kid. You know what I'm saying? Whether your mom was yelling at you, you know what I'm saying, when you was a young dude, or the dad is saying, you know what, I'm not coming to see you, right? Like, even though he was angry with reasons we don't necessarily know. Even when I get angry with my kids, right, and I've yelled at my kids before, like in that moment, I realized, like, yo, listen, I gotta calm down because they're gonna see this differently. They're gonna internalize this differently. So you know what I'm saying? So I'm not, right? I'm totally understanding that he did it, but he should have. This is my opinion, right? Mm-hmm. That he should have, like I think Sir Charles said, he should have realized in the moment that, you know what, I should just let this go real quick before it does escalate, as opposed to staying in the moment. Like even you was like, I call her a bitch, right? But you was like, call myself, right? So let me try to do something about it.
It was all capital letters too. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I feel you. I understand.
No, and that's the thing. I mean, we've all done some things that we weren't proud of, but that gonna make it. That gonna mean we can excuse it. Like even
that's what I was getting at, though, Sir Charles.
Yeah.
It's just like this. My thing is like, you can say he's a piece of shit. You can say he was wrong for it, but what I try to do, especially, you know how I am with this one, Sir Charles. I've been in this conversation 100 times. I try to get people to understand that non-custodial position, because like full custody, fine. Some guys do that. Some guys know what to do. I didn't know shit. All I know was I'm in court and I'm trying to see my baby, and I gotta pay to see her. I gotta pay this child support, and I gotta be somewhat nice to my ex-wife to make the shit work. That's the position I'm used to, because I've never seen nobody fight for custody.
Right.
So when you in that position, it's like, bro, you feel helpless and you can snap, bro. You can really snap.
You know what though? You know how I knew to fight for mine? I had a neighbor. I used to cut her grass. And she was she was a lawyer, for family court lawyer. And she was like, oh, I see you got I just had my daughter. I see you got a daughter, blah, 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 blah. Congratulations, blah, blah, blah. She sat me down one day. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, make sure you do this, make sure you do that. But well before any of it fell down, right? And I just took it in. And then when that moment came, I was like, no, that ain't gonna happen. When that moment came, and she, my kid's mom was like, hey, I'm gonna need this child support, blah, 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 blah. I was just like, I know just what to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was already sat down and kind of given that game. So I understand how we can get so messed up in the fold of not knowing what we're allowed to do, how we fight back, because all we ever seen is us lose. That's all we've ever seen is us losing that battle. You know what I mean? So why would you do that? It just is what it is. But the fact that she sat me down and told me, hey, you could do this, you could do that. First thing you need to do. And then, like, when I was actually fighting for it and going through the process, you see the mediator first, and they're not going to hear you. They're going to type some numbers in the computer, and they're going to be like, nope, you owe this. And you're like, oh, but I paid insurance, and I got the kid this, and blah, 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 blah. Nope, blah, 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 blah. What that lady told me was, hey, make sure you see the judge, because that's who makes the decisions. And I just stuck on seeing the judge. So once I was able to see the judge plead my case, show him what I got, it was over after that. You know what I mean? And if she would have won that round, I was coming back. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I had just started my career at the time, so I had the bandwidth to do it. But we just don't know to fight it. Like, you know what I mean? We're so afraid. We just think law. Black folks think law, stay away. You know what I mean? Instead of using the law in our advantage, we just instantly think that we're not going to win when it comes to law. So we never fight for it. We never get what's due, this or that. You know what I mean? Even like if businesses do us wrong, we just don't think to fight. I mean, the BBB will get you your money back in most situations. You know what I mean? We just got to think that we can fight for certain things and stop being so defeated from the jump.
I want to say this too. You know, I'm mindful of the fact that at some point, not only we're not just having a conversation here. Somebody's going to view this and maybe have a takeaway from this discussion, right? And maybe they can understand that they do have choices, whether they fight it, like, you know, with every dollar they have and go the whole distance, or play the stoic route, right? The thing about it is family court is war. No matter how you look at it, it's freaking war. And wars aren't fought with emotions. In fact, it's a fact that when emotion is high, logic is out the window. So that's why I tell men, when you go into these, I understand it's in the fields because your kids and all that, but you got to put yourself in a mental space to think clear and focus on winning the war. Now, I didn't get custody, but I essentially caused her to lose control of me. And then she realized, damn, I can't control him with his kids. Let him go and do what he gonna do. Yeah, because you're not gonna control me. So, but we need to just let people know that they do have options, and that's what frustrates a lot of men in family court is that they don't think they have options. And like Brother Prototype said, yeah, you can go the distance with that, but I chose another route, and it seemed to work swimmingly.
A lot of men go the other route. You know what I mean? Because on the flip, you rather have your freedom. Me, I always thought about. I grew up in a single parent household, right? So I always thought about what kind of dad I'm gonna be, right? I have the same story as RJ, right? It's kind of like I knew what kind of father I wanted to be, how I was going to be. So I was not going to let that slip away. Well, you know what I'm saying? And it was just a part. It was a part of who I was.
I don't know if you misinterpreted. Look, my thing was.
Well, I do know you had a dad.
Yeah, no. My goal was not to abandon my children. That was not my goal. My goal was to remove the control, and it took 6 months. Right? It took 6 months of me not seeing my daughter, and so I purposely made her know that I had all kinds of freedom. I was on vacation, this and that. I'm like, hey, no kids. I was making her mad the other way, right? And after 6 months, she was like, come get your daughter. Okay, I'll be ready tomorrow.
Well, my way wasn't to manipulate. My way is to control. You know what I'm saying? So like, I wasn't gonna. I grew up looking at TV dads. I always wanted the TV family. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what I was going to have.
But I seen guys, and ladies and gentlemen, let me know if you know anyone like this who've been going to court for 10 years, 12 years. That their ex-wife or whatever they BM continues to take them back, and you're robbing the father of that joyful fatherhood experience because they keep taking them back to court. I didn't have the money at the time. I didn't have the desire
to get full custody.
So,
get full custody.
Okay, now I tried that with one of my children. It cost me a good buck. I still didn't. I think laws are more fair now. I think, but at that time. And my ex, I almost said it, but she was an Eastern Star too, and I wasn't no Mason. Man, I ain't have a chance. I ain't have a chance, man.
I'm not gonna. Like I said, I think I'm just different. I don't care what my wife would have been or kid's mom would have been. I would have fought it and I would have won. That's just truly how I feel about it. You know what I mean? And that's just my thinking.
I don't mean to hold the conversation out. You're the flow with this, but if anybody's a Mason or Eastern Star,
I don't care. I don't care.
No.
I'm a believer too. I'm a believer too. So I don't care about Masons or none of that.
Hold on, brother. What I'm saying is I fought it through the distance, but at some point we had what they call a settlement conference, and that's when the four of us sat down, me, my ex, and the two attorneys. And she said some stuff that was very strange, but I know one thing that stuck out. She said, I like to travel light, right? And I'm like, I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. It dawned on me later. And then what happened was I realized that my attorney is no longer on my side. What the hell? What the hell is going on? Now, by this time, I was on my third attorney, and I realized that they all talk, so it doesn't really matter. You can switch up again. They all gonna run the same play. They're gonna break out the milk and stews and make sure that they drain you for every penny that you have. So I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, but it's a dirty game that family court plays. And you got to understand, when you go into war, there's a chance that you could lose the war, is all I'm saying. But I applaud you, brother. You went the distance, but that ain't everybody's story. People spend $100,000 and still walk away with no child.
That's the majority, actually. If you and it all depends on what state you are in. Texas is a lot, I guess, better as it relates to child support as opposed to other states.
Alabama, one of the best too.
Huh?
Alabama is one of the best for
Right.
50-50.
And so also prototype, you know what I'm saying? You had the information, you know what I'm saying? So like, you know, because I know dudes that was trying to get their kid and fighting for the kid, and they still couldn't get the kid.
I think the mistake a lot of dudes make is, and I think it's in this where men know kids need their mother, and we'll go for 50-50 custody. We'll go for half. You know what I mean? And you just like Sir Charles said, when it comes to court, it's war. You got to go for the jugular and prove why this person is whatever this person is. Now, I'll tell you this, right? After I got custody, it's been all peaches and cream. You know what I'm saying? Like my wife and my kid's mom, they celebrate birthdays together, like their birthday. You know what I mean? I have everybody at the house. It's been nothing but love, no arguments, no fighting, no nothing. Before that, I had all the baby mama drama. But when I got control, everything fell right in line.
More when they had control, is what you're saying.
Say that again. Oh yeah, because I don't think a woman is meant to have control. It's your job to be the leader and have control. And they just want to rest. Like, oh, he got it. Well, he got it. So we're cool.
I mean, I can see that. I didn't get full custody, but once I got paperwork saying that this is what I'm owed, and if you play these type of games, I can hold you in contempt of court. It did get a lot better. That's even with child support. And even though I don't agree with the system, one thing I did, I can't say I just can't do that. But one thing I understood, you feel me, about child support was it had a baseline. Like it was just like a set thing where it's like, this is what it is, so you can't ask more of me. You know what I'm saying?
I'll say this. And it feels good to say this, but she had to pay me child support. I never pressed it. I never applied it. She never gave me a dime off of that. But it was the mere fact that I had that paper where she owed me month in, month out. She never gave it to me, and I never asked her for it. But that's beside the point. Yeah, I understand what I'm saying.
Right.
So you got to go for the jugular, man. It's actual, and that's the game that I was given. Right? Look, when this situation comes up, don't play nice. Go for it all.
And this was from initial. Was this so? I'm gonna leave it alone. I gotta go. But was initially did you do it like right before y'all split? Like did you jump on it before y'all split? That's what I hear a lot.
No. This happened like we're both from Pittsburgh, and when everybody moved to Georgia, and we weren't together in Georgia. I mean, my son and my daughter was like 6 and 4. You know what I'm saying? So like it wasn't a initial thing. It was whenever she figured out like, oh, we never gonna be together. And I was just like, no, this never gonna happen. She tried to go, like she even did it through like the government trying to get assistance. So it's not like she was actually coming after me, but she was trying to get.
Oh, and what was you doing from 6 to 4?
We was on a 3-day split.
Oh, okay.
From the time the kids was born, like
based on the court.
No, that was based on
y'all do you all's agreement.
That was based on our agreement. You know what I mean? She was just like, you ain't gonna leave me with this baby. You know what I mean? Like she dropped my daughter off on my college doorstep. Like, here you go, baby, 2 weeks old. So from the time the baby was 2 weeks, we've been on a 3-day split for the whole time until things got whatever, and I ended up with full custody.
That's what's up. Yes. That's dope. That kind of rolls over into we'll let you go first, CJ, since you ducking out. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't like the way that sound. I don't like the way that sound.
Oh no, it was shade. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, listen.
Well, I got to go pay the child support in the morning.
I feel you. I understand. The question is, how should child support? And we'll wrap this. This is gonna be the last question. Y'all been doing phenomenal. How should child support the child? Because y'all talking about, how it kind of shortchanges as it relates to money. Like it kind of
Mhm.
cripples some people, right?
Mhm.
And I know that some people that get it, well, it's women really that mostly get it, that they don't necessarily utilize it for the kid necessarily. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, right? But this got me to thinking: how should child support the child? We'll start with you, CJ.
Me personally, first I'll go from a personal point of view. I don't care about where the money goes. Long as my child is looking decent, she's in programs that she want to be involved. Like my daughter cheers, my daughter's in a Bible club, my daughter is in a reading club. Like, and her shoes are always nice. Her uniforms are new. Like she's taken care of. You know what I'm saying? With what I pay. So I don't know what she spends the money on per se, but when I see my daughter, she looks nice. She's taken care of. So I'm not really tripping. But if we, that's my situation. I know guys that's just not the case. So I would say there should be parameters around the beginning of school. There should be parameters around groceries, and after school activities or out of school activities. Like it can only be swiped, or it can only be vouchers for these particular sets of things. Or there could be a trust fund account where the money goes to. Let's say you got back pay. When you paying back pay, when you paying your monthly stuff, they can go to a card for everyday use or weekly use, and then there should be a back pay account that goes towards like a trust fund that has your kids taken care of. I think I got that from Ricky from what's my guy? What's the name of that show,
Lapeef?
man?
Talking about on
Bruce.
Lapeef?
Yeah,
Oh,
Lapeef.
Bruce
Yeah,
Lee.
he
Okay.
brought that up one day. I thought that was a good, that was a good idea. But yeah.
Anybody's welcome to go. CJ, I know you got to go. I appreciate you stopping by, homie. You take it easy,
For
bro.
sure.
All right, bro.
I kind of feel like CJ, if it don't matter where that money's going, and if you don't like what that parent is doing with the money, get full custody. That's just the end all. Like, if your child is cool, or if they're not, regardless, you really don't have any complaints because number one, you let that girl be the mom of your kid. You should have protected your seed. And number two, if you don't like it, get custody, and then you don't got to worry about it.
Dwayne, what you got on it, bro? You been silent. You okay?
Oh yeah, I've just been listening.
Okay, bet. What you got on it? How should child support the child?
Well, to me, there's no parameter. I mean, there used to be just government cheese, food stamps, right? You could only this is your form of support. Yeah, now what? EBT is accepted at the liquor store, right? So now we're expecting the mom or whoever's getting the child support for that to be protected, and this is how it's supposed to be spent. You could only spend this much. No, it's fair game. If they want to spend it on their nails, their hair, their this and that, that's on them. And that's why it's an interesting game for me, because for me it's not about money. It's about time. I think that's the most valuable asset that one can give to their child. So
It's on anybody.
I think RJ was stepping up to the mic.
Yeah, I was gonna hop in real quick and just say this is a space that like I'm glad to say I know nothing about, right? Like I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I want to know what this is about. But I'm also one that's not naive to say that it can never happen to me, because anything is possible. But what I would say is that if there's support for the child, what I would say is just maintain that baby and don't lose focus of what it's for, right? Like I have a lot of guys that I coach in my groups, and a few of them are on child support, and like they said earlier, a lot of their beef, a lot of their gripe is that when they see their child, they don't see their money, right? They don't see where that's going. So I would say use it for the good of the child, right? It's I could see a man being highly frustrated, or even a woman being highly frustrated if your child's not taken care of, but that parent has the new red bottoms on, or that new fedora, you're like, things will be a little different if the child's not taken care of that in that other parent is. So I say associate the funds where it's necessary for that child and to build that child up, as in, like you said, i.e. after school programs. Because let me tell you, things are expensive. I just had my little goddaughter over here and my two kids, and just having one extra child in the environment changed the whole dynamic. Normally buying pizza is like $30-$40. One extra child turned it to $60 to $80. You know what I'm saying? So it's just allocate the funds correctly to where they're supposed to be, because the child didn't actually be in the position that the child's in.
I want to echo the sentiments of Mr. 5100 CJ. I don't really care. Having been a part of the system, I never wanted. I never cared to have a detailed printout of where the exact dollars went, but I just wanted to make sure that my child was taken care of, that they weren't missing any meals, that they're, everything, clothing, all of that, everything was taken care of. But I'll say this for one of my daughter's mothers, no cap, I was paying her $2,000 a month, and she had the nerve to come back and ask me for more. And that was an issue for a while, because I would deny her more, and then she would take me back to court, and then I would tell her again I'm not giving her anything else, and then we were back to court quite a few times till she realized that. I'm like, yo, you get more than enough. I don't know why you bothering me. I don't care what you do with the money. I know my kids were straight, but it was just she was money hungry. And so a lot of times these mothers don't realize that they just want, it's a vengeance thing, and they want to hurt the father. But that being said, I don't really need an itemized list of where the money went. Just know that my daughter's taken care of, and don't bother me anymore about extra when I know I'm giving you more than enough.
I understand a little bit about a woman's psyche and why she gives you a kid and why she would be vengeful that way. Because I mean, she thinks like she sacrificed herself, her body, to give you, for your lineage and to give you a child. You should take care of her. That's how they feel. Like you should take care of her because she's giving you this child. You know what I mean? And this is your lineage. I know we look at it as it's both our child, but I don't look at kids like that. I look at kids as the kid belongs to that father. You know what I'm saying? So it's not both of y'all's. It's that father's child.
Wait, so how old are your children, Prototype?
17, 14, 8, and 5.
Okay. All right. And the reason why I asked, because I think things have changed a little bit. My youngest is now 21. And my oldest is 29. And back when I was going through the system, I mean, it was an uphill battle for a man that received any kind of favor in the court system. It was almost like it guaranteed you going in is going favors leaning toward the woman. Very rarely did a man get any. It doesn't matter how good the father was. Very rarely did the man get any favor in the court system. So I just think things have changed drastically, and it's good to hear that you were successful. And I heard other brothers being successful in recent times too. So yeah, I just wanted to know things are a little bit different than they were back in my day.
I'm not accepting that excuse, but you got it.
Oh yeah, and then it's not an excuse, but I will say this. I also want to get into before Sister Shan goes. I also want to provide proof of why you should expect. I want to address that. Why you should expect something in return when you give. It is biblical, and it's also a law, a natural law. No different than the law of gravity. If you jump your butt out the window of a fifth-story building, the law of gravity says you're gonna fall down on the ground and you're gonna crack your. So anyhow, it's the law.
That's exactly what I said.
It's the law. It's the law of sowing and reaping, and it's actually biblical. Whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly. Whoever sows generally will also reap generously. It's all throughout the Bible.
But I said that.
Well, you said you should not expect. You said there's something wrong with that.
Because it's a where your heart to goes with the thought of giving, right? I'm saying this is, I said it's going to give back. That's one of the laws that God put in the world is you give and you receive. Like that's
Right.
it's just something that happens. But
here's
don't
the
give.
caveat
Oh, I'm
to
gonna get it back.
The
No,
caveat,
give.
No, the caveat to that is that I said that you should not expect it in the same form or from the same person. But because you put the energy out into the universe, you've sown something. So because you've sown, no farmer plants corn seed and expects nothing.
That's
when it's
work.
time to
We're
harvest.
not. We wasn't talking about work.
Well, no. It's the same with the same law of sowing and reaping. And here's the problem. A lot of times people walk around with closed fists because they don't see the benefit in giving. There's a benefit to giving. And it's not just, oh, I was a good person. No, the benefit is biblically, and I got more scriptures that says that if you sow, if you give, you shall receive. That's the law. And that's why when you cheerfully give, it is, I think it's perfectly fine. I'm not saying everybody has to adopt this mindset, but I think it's perfectly fine that when you cheerfully give, you know that you are going to cheerfully receive. Too many people give begrudgingly because they're like, man, I don't even know. In my last. No, you're sowing a seed. You're sowing to someone. And you should be happy about that sowing, but knowing that harvest is going to be coming.
You know where that gets in you know where that gets you know where that gets you into trouble is people will use because I gave extra in church, right? That's what they're like. Here's the $100 line. Here's the $200 line. So people think like, oh, I gave $100 in church. It's like they're playing the lottery at that point. You know what I'm saying? And that's not what it's intended to be. That's playing the lottery. Like, oh, I gave a lot, so I'm gonna get a lot. Nah, you give because that's what you do, and it's a natural law that you'll get something back. You know what I mean? Regardless of how you felt about it.
So should you expect that law to work?
The law works. It's not the law works.
The point is you should expect
law to work. It's where the intention is coming from. You shouldn't even be thinking about what's coming back. Or if it comes back, it comes back. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But
I don't think that he was saying it like that, though. I don't think he was saying like that, Prototype.
Because it may not come back. If you give money, it may not come back in the form of money. It may come back in the form of good health. It could come back in the form of favor for that position at your job, the promotion. It may come in the form of grace and mercy. Hey, that car was.
I'm not arguing the comeback.
I'm saying,
I'm arguing the intention.
I fully believe that because of the energy that I put out into the universe, I shall receive that same energy. I shall receive goodness. That's not to say that bad things won't happen to me, but I and it's happened. Is that you don't know me in real life, but what I am saying is that my life is blessed basically because I've really been a blessing to I allow God to use me as a vessel. Bless me so I can bless others because I'm not a hoarder. I'm not walking around with closed fists. I mean, I will give time, talents, and my treasures so that God can continue to bless me so I can bless others. I mean, I don't think all I'm saying is I don't see anything wrong with that.
I got a question for you though, Prototype, because I see where you at, Sir Charles. Since we on the biblical phase, and you know what I'm saying, Dwayne, Shan, y'all can chime in on it as well. Do you believe that God promises us anything?
Eternal life.
I'm asking the Prototype.
Eternal life.
So, if He promises us eternal life, should we expect that?
Yes.
Right. So that's what Sir Charles is saying. There is an expectation based on what it is that I'm giving. Like me giving my life to Christ, there is an expectation that I will have eternal life. Right. That's what it is. So you're coming from the position of, is your heart, are you giving with the right intention?
That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Right. And so even if and I understand you're saying that you need to give from from the right intention, right? That makes sense. But I don't think that negates what Sir Charles is trying to communicate.
I understand. I realize that he's speaking to a different point than we're just on two different wavelengths. You understand what I'm trying to say, but I don't think he's necessarily he understands what exactly I'm saying, because he just reiterated what I already said. Like it's a law, it's a rule that when you give, you'll receive. It's going to come back, but you're not giving you're not giving with the idea like, oh, I'm gonna get this back. Like I said, that's like playing the lottery.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think well, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Sir Charles.
Mustn't.
I didn't see it like that. I saw it as if the Bible literally says you reap what you sow. So do you agree with that statement?
Absolutely.
So that means there's an expectation.
That law works.
Yeah.
The law works. The law works.
And he didn't even say. I mean, he did also say.
So
I'm
here's
saying
here's the
what
thing,
I'm
right?
saying. Hold on, real quick. What I'm saying is both can be true, right?
Mhm.
Both can be
Which I
true
was saying.
because he also says in Scripture that your heart needs to be right. Okay, but your heart can still be right and have good intentions, and say, okay, when I do this, I have an expectation to get something in return. Both can happen. It's a both and. I think you're seeing it as one or the other. You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm saying, yeah, I don't know, but I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. It's like I scratch your back, you scratch mine is the wrong way of going
It's
back.
semantic.
Or I scratch somebody in the universe's back, and the universe will scratch mine in return. That's what he's saying.
So
I mean, it's true. But you shouldn't think about it like that. Think about like, oh, I scratch somebody's back and I'm moving on with my day. Is it gonna come back? Yes. Somebody's gonna scratch my back.
You can't tell someone to think, bro. Like how he processes and how he thinks is.
It's not about telling somebody. I mean, that's we're supposed to sharpen each other, right? So it's about the intention, right? I want to make sure his heart is pure, and since other people are going to listen to this, I'm putting out there. Don't give with expecting something's coming back. Just give and be free and be open and loving. Like if you can't do it out of love, don't do it at all.
I think y'all are literally saying the same thing.
Yeah.
We are, but there's a slight caveat.
No, there is a slight caveat, and I think Sir Charles made mention of it earlier. As for they'll have their reward. So if I'm not mistaken, if you do something like praying on the street corner and you're praying and praying out loud and all that, they shall have their reward. So guess what? They're going to sow something as well. But is it going to be the same? No, there's a difference in what they're going to reap. But then also it does say the golden rule: do unto others as you like done unto you. That too is something as an expectation. So if you treat people bad, guess what's going to then turn around and happen to you? The same thing. So with that expectation, if I treat people well, then guess what? That should come back to me as well. It's not a guarantee.
Here's something. Here's another way to think about this, right? Let's say you treated people well all your life, right? I mean, because we all know disciples were the disciples, but none of them died a peaceful death. Some of them were exiled, some were skinned, some were burned. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if we want to talk biblical, think about how the disciples, the good they did, and how they actually died. It wasn't, you know what I mean? It wasn't Daniel on the line. Like, you get in situations. So if you get your mind wrapped into, I've been so good to people, why am I here? Like, you know what I'm saying?
So I think the core and the crux of Christianity says, pick up your cross. Where are you going? Where are you going? When you pick up that cross, where are you going? You're not going to Disneyland. You're not going to Fun Town. You're going to somewhere that's going to be excruciating. And it says, if they hated me, they'll hate you also. So in that, there's also that expectation. Don't expect just because you say that you're going to be a Christian that things are just going to be all roses and daisies.
So that's what I'm saying. Don't expect because you've done good that it's automatically coming back like that. And I'm going to get something back, because you'll get wrapped up in saying I've been so good to people. But why me?
But that's the mindset, though. To me, that's the mindset to have. So store up your treasures in heaven, where moth and rust does not decay. That's something that's you can't touch heaven necessarily, as for something you not right now, but in the deeds and the actions in which you do is for a greater good somewhere far down the line. And I think that's a part of faith. You're doing something with the faith that something's going to happen.
Faith is all about expectation
that you don't see. That you don't see. So in that, you're setting yourself up to say, hey, I'm going to do this now for something that I don't see. And that's where that it is. If you want to think of it as a gamble, Like whenever you invest your time and energy into doing something for someone, you could look at it as a gamble, because they don't have to do it back, because they have their own free will, and it's up to them whether or not. So in that exchange for goodness,
So-
you're doing it, and I get what you're saying. It's with the intention. It's in the intention. But in that, I don't do things, and because guess what? Ultimately, the rewarder is not man. The rewarder is God himself. He is the one who will then reward you. If you look for men, and I'm not speaking directly to you, Prototype, I'm just speaking overall in the biblical truth. If you look for men to be the one who rewards you, you're going to be out of luck. If you look for God, that's where your faith should then reside. And at the end of the day, if I do good for men and they don't recognize it, so what? I'm not necessarily doing it for them. I'm doing it for the kingdom of heaven. That's what I'm doing it for.
Amen. It's offering time.
That's what's up. Hey, Shan, it's on you. Hey, RJD, did you have something you wanted to input here?
No, I'm done.
All right, bet, Shan, it's on you. You know what I'm saying? The question that we had before, or you can answer either one of the questions. You know what I'm saying?
What were the questions? In a male-dominated chat room,
Listen, I see you trying to do your
Sorry,
feminine
Shan,
thing.
when the men began to talk, this is when the women go into the kitchen. So if you had not seen that I mentally went into the kitchen, I was there. There's no need for me to comment or say anything, okay? I know my place, and I'm okay with that.
All right, cool. But I want you to tell me, because maybe you experienced this. How should child support the child?
I'm actually quite surprised to see most of the men say that they don't have a record or account or keeping tabs of how it's being spent. As a person, a mother, a parent who receives child support, I feel as though as long as I'm using it to take care of the house and the children where they live and I should be able to do with it what I want. And for all those men who have problems with women going out and purchasing hair, nails, the Gucci, the Prada, all of that, you knew who she was when you laid down with her.
Oh, wow.
She didn't change. She was buying it before, and now she's buying it again. So, why are you mad? You knew who you had children with, period, point blank. I am not her. She is not me. We don't know each other. So over here, where I reside, the money is spent what it's supposed to be spent on. Good God bless you. And it's budgeted. Hallelujah.
Hey, so to that father out there,
for allowing me to listen to all your good viewpoints. I appreciate them. It has been delightful.
For sure. What you say, RJD?
hey, now I was just saying to that man out there that's paying that child support, mind your business.
That hurts, don't it? Boy, that hurts.
That's all right, man. This has been incredible. I really appreciate y'all, man. You know, I can't do the show without y'all, so I'm majorly grateful. You know, and make sure y'all go check out these young people. You know what I'm saying? RJD over on Instagram doing this thizzle. Shan, you're not doing the TikToks no more with the kids? Whatever.
I have
man.
done several. They are posting them somewhere else.
Oh, that's what it is.
I don't know what's going on. I do not post it. Oh, here they come yelling.
She usually
where you
Shan,
you sent it to me?
I sure did it.
Shan usually does TikTok dances with her kids. And so
I do.
they do some choreography typically on her page. Yeah.
What's the TikTok?
Oh, for the kids and I?
Yeah.
Tribe Called Glenn.
Tribe Called
Glenn. 2 N's. We are a tribe over here.
All right, I'm gonna.
You sure are, man. Y'all got a lot of kids over there.
Don't do us. You have just as many.
That's a fact.
Seems to be the magic number over here.
That's a fact. And you can question Dwayne. Are you got your website up yet?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, let me talk before I start lying to people.
Yeah, man. He don't even have his website memorized, man. What is the word?
Oh no, it's real simple. First name, last name, photography.
Okay, Dwayne Jones Photography. Hey, bro, I've been trying to tell you that I need my graduation photos. Like the link went away.
Oh man, I'm so sorry. You still there?
I knew you were gonna do that.
It looked like you froze.
I knew you were gonna do that. I knew you were gonna do that, bro.
It's that frozen. You froze?
Yeah, he did my my photos for my graduation, man. So he did a really good job. And then you can catch Prototype over there on you on YouTube and Instagram, or right?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube and Instagram. Prototype Dad on podcast on YouTube and Prototype Dad on Instagram. So
When
yeah,
do
holla
y'all
at us.
usually
Tuesday nights at 9 we go live.
Tuesday nights at 9 go live? That's
Yeah,
the
this
best.
is a survival series. We're gonna talk about how to survive in the apocalypse coming up. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
That's what's up. And then Sir Charles, where can they find you, homie?
Sir Charles the Gog on all social media handles, underscores between the words. I actually I co-host the show Mindfully Misunderstood on YouTube with my brother Cameron. We haven't put up any content in a minute because I had a business that was on life support. It finally died. So now that that's out the way, I'll have more time to create content.
What is it called? Mindfully what?
Mindfully Misunderstood.
Mindfully Misunderstood.
Yeah.
That's a bet, man. Well, I appreciate y'all, people. And then don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, all that jazz, and support everybody's what they got going on. Prototype, make sure you send me some information on
Damn.
No, I'll definitely get that out to you guys with the program and everything, and who we're trying to feed with it. So
that's a bet. All right. Till next time, we out here. Deuces.
Peace, family.
Man, what a phenomenal show. It was dope, man. Like it is for me, I enjoy conversation. I enjoy hearing people's perspectives, especially when they're different from mine, because it allows me an opportunity to learn, right, as well as to see if what it is that I'm saying even makes sense that's going inside of my head. And so what I gathered from the conversation is, support is needed in a multitude of ways. And support is needed at the beginning, and also in the middle, and even on the trek to, the journey to get to where it needs to be, where you're going. And so I challenge everybody that watches this or is watching it to see where the need is for those that you are close to, as well as those that are in your local area. And shout out to the panel. They always bring eloquent conversation, even in disagreeable discourse. And so without further conversation, I want to say deuces to everybody that watches. You have a good one. Oh, don't forget to go get some of that Humble Dad merchandise over at humbledad.life. Until next time, deuces.